murmurs, location of murmur, associated factors, which is also we can also say it other abnormalities. Now, before talking the type of murmurs, we have to understand that the murmurs are due to abnormalities in the wall. There are two abnormalities in the wall. The one is called closing problem, and because of it, which will lead to insufficiency, and it is called regurgitation. Normally we know that we close the wall, actually we have to stop the back flow of the blood. If you cannot close the wall properly, and so it means the blood will back, the blood will come back, and if the blood come back, this is called regurgitation. So closing problem is also called insufficiency, it can also called regurgitation. Now opening problem, the wall cannot open, so it means there is obstruction, and it is also called stenosis. So regurgitation and stenosis of the walls are going to produce the murmur. Now this is S1, this is S2, and this is again S1. Between S1 and S2, this is systole. Between S2 and S1, this is diastole. S1 is due to the closure of mitral and tricuspid wall. It will produce S1. If it doesn't close properly, so the closing problem is actually called regurgitation. Now the regurgitation of tricuspid and mitral wall, the regurgitation of tricuspid and mitral wall is going to produce which kind of murmur? That is systole, because direct after S1 we have systole. So this is how you will remember that tricuspid and mitral regurgitation cause systolic murmur. Now S2 is due to the closures of aortic and pulmonary wall. It will produce S2. If aortic and pulmonary wall doesn't close properly, the closing problem is occur, and which is called regurgitation. Now the aortic and pulmonary regurgitation is going to cause which kind of murmur? After S2 we are having diastole. So aortic and pulmonary regurgitation is going to cause diastolic murmur. So just this is the concept. Now if tricuspid and mitral wall regurgitation cause systolic murmur, the tricuspid and mitral wall opening stenosis will cause diastolic murmur, just opposite to it. Now if the aortic and pulmonary wall closure problem, I mean regurgitation, the regurgitation is going to cause diastolic murmur, then aortic and pulmonary opening problem, which is called stenosis will cause systolic murmur. This aortic and pulmonary wall stenosis, you can also remember it by a mnemonics, and the mnemonic here is PASS. Our pulmonary and aortic stenosis cause systolic murmur. For aortic regurgitation, I already uploaded a video on it, but the mnemonic here is CBI for it. C was for collapsing pulse, B is for blowing high pitch, AR is for aortic regurgitation, ED is for early diastolic murmur, and this D is also for decrescendo murmur. Diastole is between S2 and S1, so you guys can see the diastole started from here, so it is early diastolic murmur, so it start earlier, but first it was high in intensity, then it's go down. This is called decrescendo. From high to low we are going, from high to low, this is called decrescendo. So we are moving from high to low intensity, this is called decrescendo murmur. This is just the reflection. So we'll be talking about above the line. Now if aortic regurgitation is going to cause diastolic murmur, then opposite to it means aortic stenosis will cause systolic murmur. So if you remember just one, the other will be easy. But now we know that aortic wall is in pair with pulmonary wall. So if aortic regurgitation is going to cause diastolic murmur, the pulmonary regurgitation will also call diastolic murmur. It is same, like I mean in pair it will go same. Admission in MDMS is often. MD is for mid-diastolic murmur, and MS was for mitral stenosis, and opening is for opening snap. And as we know that diastolic is between S2 and S1. You see this is OS opening snap, and then the first murmur was high in intensity, then it come down and then go upward. So this is also called decrescendo and crescendo murmur. Just mid-diastolic murmur is enough, but if you want to remember, just you can also remember it from him. From this DS you will remember. From this D it will be for decrescendo, and S just say it for C. So S we will pronounce it for C. So decrescendo, crescendo murmur, or you can say mid-diastolic murmur. From now you see that mitral stenosis is going to cause diastolic murmur. Now mitral regurgitation will opposite to it. So as mitral stenosis is going to cause diastolic murmur, then mitral regurgitation is going to cause systolic murmur. For aortic stenosis, the mnemonic here is SCD, eject slowly. In aortic stenosis means there is narrowing, so the way for the CD is very narrow, so it will eject very slowly. So in aortic stenosis, the CD eject very slowly. C is for crescendo, D is for decrescendo. Eject is for ejection, and slowly is for systolic murmur. So crescendo, decrescendo, ejection, systolic murmur, as we see in the aortic stenosis. Now this is from this CD you say, they said there is crescendo, so first it will go upward and then decrescendo, it will move downward. Okay, so if it move upward, this is called crescendo, and then this is called decrescendo. Sometime below this line, crescendo, descendo, crescendo and decrescendo will be above the line, but sometime they also do like this. Okay, this is for crescendo and this is for decrescendo. But as I said that if we go upwards, it means that we are talking about this line. Okay, above this line, if you go upward, that is called crescendo, and if you go downward, that is called decrescendo. So now you see, this is called this kind of murmur we see in the aortic stenosis, and this is now give the shape of diamond. So sometimes they give us that the diamond shape murmur. Okay, locations of murmur. So this is the first strip, second, third, and up to 7, and this is the first intercostal space, second intercostal, third, fourth, and fifth, and both on the both sides same. So we will say APTM. Okay, APTM is this is how you remember it. So in the second intercostal space on the right side, we have aortic wall locations. Okay, the murmur for the murmurs, and for the pulmonary, this is on the left side, second intercostal space, and in the fourth intercostal space we will be talking about the tricuspid, and for mitral wall it is the fifth intercostal space, but here we will be talking about the mid-clavicular line, because here is the clavicle, so the midpoint of the clavicle will be for the fifth intercostal space, but mid-clavicular line, that is for the mitral wall.